Mystery unfolds as a baby and cat nap together. Get ready to be amazed and touched by this heartwarming and mysterious tale of a baby and her beloved cat. It was a typical and peaceful day with Olivia and her fluffy cat Simba enjoying each other's company as they napped on the couch. The two had formed a close bond over the months, bonding over playtime, snuggles, and naps. But suddenly, something strange and unexpected happened, turning Olivia's life upside down in an instant. No one could have predicted what was about to happen, or how it would change everything for the little one and her feline friend. It was a moment that would stay with them forever, and one that would bring them even closer together as they faced the challenges and uncertainties ahead. Whether they were playing games or napping together, Olivia and Simba were always there for each other, and their bond only grew stronger as they navigated the ups and downs of life. Since the moment she was brought home, Olivia, a 7-month-old baby, has lived alongside Simba, her fluffy feline companion. Adjusting to coexisting with the new addition to the household wasn't always easy for Simba, who was used to being the center of attention. However, as time passed and the two grew closer through shared playtime, snuggles, and naps, Simba began to adapt to the presence of the infant. Emily, Olivia's loving mother, took her home shortly after she was born and raised her with utmost care and affection. Despite Emily's devoted attention to the newborn, Simba couldn't help but feel a little left out and neglected at times. Every Monday and Tuesday of the week, when Emily had an online meeting for work, she stayed at home with both Simba and Olivia, keeping them in the same room to allow them to spend quality time together. Despite the initial challenges, Simba and Olivia developed a strong bond of love and care for one another, and their relationship only grew stronger with each passing month. As the warm and sunny afternoon wore on, sweet little Olivia, the darling baby of Emily and Jack, started to feel tired and drowsy. It was no surprise, as she had been having a delightful time playing with her fluffy and cuddly cat Simba all day long. The two had developed a close and special bond over the past few months, bonding over all sorts of playful activities, snuggles, and naps. Simba, a majestic Ashira breed cat, was a generous and thoughtful gift from Emily's father, a well-known and respected art dealer, on her birthday 1 year ago. Despite the exorbitant value and high cost of the breed, Emily loved and cared for Simba with all her heart and soul, and the feline had become a beloved and treasured member of the family in a short amount of time. As she gathered her tired and sleepy baby in her arms, Emily knew that it was time for Olivia's afternoon nap. She carried the little one into the living room, with Simba following closely behind, eagerly anticipating his own snooze. The living room was a cozy and comfortable space, with soft cushions and blankets on the couch, and plenty of natural light streaming in through the windows. Emily carefully placed Olivia on the couch, tucking her in with a soft and fluffy blanket and a few pillows for support and comfort. Simba wasted no time in leaping up next to the baby, curling up against her side and purring contentedly. As the peaceful and quiet afternoon wore on, sweet little Olivia, the precious and dear baby of Emily and Jack, began to drift off into a peaceful slumber, lulled by the gentle purring of her fluffy and cuddly cat Simba and the warmth of his soft and furry body. Emily watched the two for a moment, smiling with joy and love at the sight of her baby and her cat, the two most important and special beings in her life, peacefully and harmoniously sleeping together. She leaned down and placed a gentle and loving kiss on Olivia's forehead, and then turned to leave the room, heading back to her office to finish up some work. As Emily returned to her office, she knew she had a lot of work to do. She had recently gone back to work after 6 months of maternity leave, and she was still adjusting to the new schedule and routine. She sat down at her desk, pulled out her laptop, and began to tackle the mountain of emails and documents that awaited her. It was a busy and demanding day, but Emily was determined to get everything done, and she was confident she could handle it all with her usual efficiency and effectiveness. As Emily worked diligently and steadily in her office, the room was quiet and peaceful, with only the gentle sound of her typing on the keyboard and the occasional cheerful chirp of a bird outside the window to break the silence. She was completely focused and immersed in her tasks, and time seemed to fly by as she worked tirelessly to get everything done. But suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere was shattered by a loud and urgent yowl from the living room. Emily froze in shock, her heart racing with fear and worry. She knew that Simba was with Olivia, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. She jumped up from her chair, her pulse pounding in her ears, and rushed out of the room, following the sound of the yowl. She had to see what was going on and make sure that her beloved baby and her dear cat were safe and sound. She raced down the hallway, her mind racing with questions and fears, and burst into the living room, ready to face whatever was there. As Emily hurried towards the living room, her heart racing with fear and worry, she could hear the sound of scratching and scuffling, as if Simba was trying to defend himself against something. She burst into the room, her pulse still pounding in her ears, and saw Simba standing at the window, his fur fluffed up and his eyes fixed on something outside. Emily followed his gaze, and her heart skipped a beat. A huge, menacing-looking dog was sniffing around the garden, looking for a way into the house. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as she watched the dog trying to find a way into the house, where her precious and vulnerable baby Olivia and her beloved and loyal cat Simba were sleeping. She knew she had to do something to protect them, but she wasn't sure what. She took a step towards the window, trying to think of a plan, but before she could do anything, Simba let out another loud and urgent yowl and lunged at the window, scratching and clawing at the glass with all his might. Emily was in shock and horror as the cat tried to fend off the dog, her mind racing with ideas and options. She knew she had to act fast and decisively to keep her family safe, and she was determined to do whatever it took to protect them. The dog was caught off guard by the sudden and unexpected attack, and yelped in fear and surprise as it tried to flee the scene. It turned and ran, darting out of the garden and disappearing from sight, leaving Simba standing at the window, bristling with anger and aggression. The feline had been fiercely protecting his family, and he wasn't about to let any harm come to them. But as the danger passed, Simba slowly started to relax, his fur settling back down and his eyes returning to their normal size. He had successfully chased off the threat, and he knew that his family was safe once again. Emily let out a sigh of relief. Her heart finally slowed back to its normal pace after the rush of adrenaline and fear. She walked over to Simba and knelt down next to him, rubbing his head and thanking him for his bravery and loyalty. Simba purred in response, rubbing his head against Emily's hand in a show of affection and appreciation. Emily glanced over at Olivia, who was still fast asleep, oblivious to the danger that had been lurking outside. She scooped up the baby and held her close, kissing her forehead and thanking Simba once again for protecting her and keeping her safe. From that day on, Simba became even more beloved and appreciated in the family, and Olivia grew up knowing that she always had a loyal and loving protector in her dear and cherished cat. And that's our story for today. Thank you for joining us for this heartwarming and mysterious tale of a baby and her beloved cat. We hope you enjoyed this journey of love, friendship, and bravery, and that you were inspired by the unbreakable bond between Olivia and Simba. And remember, no matter what challenges and uncertainties come your way, the love and support of those closest to you can always get you through. If you enjoyed today's story, please consider subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and hitting that bell icon to be notified of when we have another story ready for you to go. Until next time, stay safe and keep spreading the love and joy to those around you.